Grand slams, no-hitters, and double plays are back, and there's no better place to get in on the MLB action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. You can wager on everything from the money line to strikeouts to which player will lead the league in home runs. Plus, with FanDuel's fast payouts, you can get your winnings the same inning. So swing for the fences and join FanDuel today. FanDuel, official partner of the Cincinnati Reds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and up and present in Ohio. Visit FanDuel.com/RG.
Norcom has changed its name to Pixel Technologies. Pixel Technologies' core offerings have new consultative approaches and include audiovisual, security, teleconferencing, and structured cabling services that you've come to know and trust. Visit pixel.tech.
You're listening to 93.5 Hot Country, Columbia, Kentucky, home of Lindsey Wilson Athletics that captured the 2015-16 Learfield Directors Cup.
I mean, advertising, would encourage a lot of local listeners, but I've got people from 3 and 4 different countries listening. It's 2 different continents.
It's because how special you are.
I mean, I just send them a text.
Yeah. Anybody gonna be watching that? Clemson, a 2-14 Louisville team?
No. I do think
Coach to even talk, I believe. He didn't. The guy
I still got my 1,000-point ball. And if I ever get broke someday, I'm gonna auction it off. I think it'll bring a lot of money. Chris, how can Marion be 1-17?
I don't know.
They're 1-17.
How can Louisville be 2-17?
I just think.
Sorry, Austin.
Chili supper, and they're going to recognize Coach Stonebreaker during the game, and so all that's going to be exciting.
Folks, this guy's doing all this with 0 notes. So he's just like throwing stuff out there.
It's involving food, I guarantee. I mean, he knew that one.
Well, I'm just trying to, I'm definitely going to have 2 bowls of chili because I'm going to make a nice donation. I'm going to have the chili. I'm going to try it.
I wouldn't be shocked at all to see a bowl up there. Passes to the left side.
We're going to take a 2-minute break. I've been known to do that.
Yeah. Welcome to Sports Talk Live and Local from high top 206 Studios. John Shelley, Scott Bennett, Ty Bennett. As Chris Wells had an obligation tonight, couldn't make it. But we want to thank our sponsor, J&S Auto Sales, Lindsey Wilson College, United Citizens Bank, TJ Regional Health. Follow us on Facebook at WAIN 101.9 FM and 1270 AM and on YouTube at WAIN Radio. Before I go any farther, I've had tons of compliments this week about the reception and the quality of the video from the football game Friday night.
Yeah, I have to. And Austin did a great job with it. It helps to have good equipment, too. I'd say Austin will agree with that.
And we are live on YouTube. So just go to YouTube, type in WAIN Radio, and you can view the show live. You can watch it archived, or on when we have home football games, you can watch the games live on there as well. Also, don't forget to take us on the go by downloading our app free of charge from the Google Play or Apple Store. Just search WAIN Radio. And guys, we got Ty in the studio tonight. Ty, I appreciate you coming in. We got to pick your brain a little bit tonight, Scott and I, when we get to the college football segment. But feel free to join in anything we talk about, because you are this year my color man, and we got to celebrate a 40-0 win over rival Russell County Friday night. And of course, Scott had all the stats for us. I'm going to open the show with your thoughts about the ball game.
Thanks for letting me join y'all. I know I got big shoes to fill tonight, making my on-screen debut. Mama, your baby boy made it, sort of. It's on YouTube, not on TV. It's probably going to be as close as you're going to get, so sorry.
Hey, you can cast it to your TV.
But, it's always good to get the season started started off with a win. You know, we talked about it in the post game in the Russell County game last year. You know, we had a 14-0 lead going into halftime, got outscored 27-0 in the second half, ended up getting beat, obviously. And I think it's just a night and day difference the start we're getting off to this year as opposed to what we got off to last year. Good momentum going into the rest of the year. You've got your confidence up. You know, got a chance to, you know, pad the stats a little bit. So, you know, I'm just excited for what we have going the rest of the year. I got a tough test this Saturday against Bardstown Bethlehem. We'll get to that, I'm sure, in a second. So,
Scott, your thoughts?
I was just looking at the stats here a little bit. A few of the things that really stood out. The defense was the first thing. Held to the 4 first downs the whole game. That's very, very impressive, and that's even with the young guys coming in, basically playing the whole fourth quarter. And 23 first downs for Adair County, 4 for Russell County. Total yards was a mismatch there also. Held Russell County only 76 total yards in the game. Adair County had 368 yards. Had a 100-yard rusher. Had a touchdown pass from Lane. Also, I think was he 8 for 11? Is that sound right?
I've got all those. I was going to read them here in just a second.
He was 8 for 12. Yep, 140 yards and a touchdown. It's very. I mean, you take that every day of the week for a first starter quarterback, and just all around, just a great game. Ryder Rogers, that's a career high, 106 yards for him. Also a career high 3 touchdowns. Didn't really realize until we got there that they were going to be missing their starting running back. Ryder's usually the second string, and he came in and filled in admirably. Hopefully Dakota will be back this week. And like I said, like Ty said, we'll talk a little bit more this week. I did find out today, and I'm not going to mention it on here, but we're going to be down. I would say we'll be down at least 1 starter this week. That could make a difference. So we'll talk about that. Like I said, I'm not mentioning names, but I do know that we're probably going to be down 1.
Guys, did you all feel like when the game was over, Adair County really didn't have to show their hand with a lot of stuff? It's almost like they got out of that game where a team that tried to scout the game probably didn't gain much info because I think Adair County kept it very simplified. I thought on defense we were very simplified. We didn't bring a lot of pressures. They just played a base defense. We're very sound and solid.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think Bethlehem got to do that as well. Watching what I've watched of the Marshall County game, of course, that wasn't a very close one either. But you know, it's always good to not put anything on tape. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So.
Yeah, it was. It seemed like you're talking about defense. We didn't show much. It seemed like to me, offensively, we ran the same plays over and over and over. And if it was working, it was working. I mean, it was. So, yeah, it's always good to get out of the first game. And basically both scrimmages, they didn't show anything in the scrimmages either. So,
again, Adair County wins that game 40-0. They go to 1-0. They will travel to Marion County on Saturday night to play in the Cooperage Bowl versus Bardstown Bethlehem, who's also 1-0. We'll talk about them next. Russell falls to 0-1. They travel to Somerset as they won a 22-21 contest against Perry County Central, or maybe they were on the wrong end. No, they're 0-1. They're on the short end of that 22-21 score against Perry Central. But so Russell jumps right back in, I think, to a good formidable opponent this weekend in Somerset.
Yeah, that's a big-time rivalry, too. So, yeah. It's a big-time rivalry. We consider Russell County a rival, and I think they consider us a rival, but that Somerset, to me, Russell and Somerset is like us and Taylor County. I mean, that's kind of a similar kind of deal.
And guys, I wasn't going to go there, but Taylor 0-1 and
didn't look good. I watched some video.
They're looking at Bardstown right now Friday night, who's ranked in their class. Could the Cardinals possibly start this thing 0-2?
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
I may have to bow out of this one. I didn't say, this is the first time I'm hearing this story.
I didn't have that in my notes, but I just did see they're 0-1 and got Bardstown, and that's going to be a tough out.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that doesn't bode well for Russell or Taylor is replacing whoever they replace their district opponent with Boyle County.
Yeah. They still have Boyle down the road for sure.
Yeah.
One thing about the Taylor County game that I did good read, and. You don't want to put coaches on the first season coach there. He coached forever at Rockcastle County, but the older Smith brother, Caden, had one touch the entire ball game. He's a Division I athlete. You got to give him the ball.
Some stats from the Darrell Russell game. Lane Grant 8 for 12 through the air, 140 yards. Did throw a touchdown. He also. I didn't have his rushing numbers down here. Yes, I did. 12 rushes for 80 yards and a touchdown. So Lane combined for 2 touchdowns. Ryder Rogers carried majority of the load, 16 carries for 106 yards, 3 touchdowns. I believe they might have all been in the first half, I believe. Solomon Stonebreaker led the way through by reception, 6 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown. Caden Wasson, 1 catch for 43 yards and went down with an injury during that 1 catch. So you would have thought he would have probably caught more balls than that. Jaden Miller, 1 catch for 15 yards. I have not heard a status on Caden, but I will be talking to Coach tomorrow for our pregame comments. And join us about 20 minutes prior to kickoff, and we will have those comments. And Ty and I will also set the stage for the pregame show. But we will have Coach Stonebreaker. I will go and interview him tomorrow night. Aiden Smith was 2 out of 4 on point afters. Jacob Lacey and Solomon Stonebreaker each had an interception. So that's kind of the numbers in a nutshell. Guys, let's talk about Bethlehem a little bit. One thing, just looking at the numbers, Nick Osborne, that comes to mind. 9 for 15 through the air, 189 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also ran the ball 8 times for 104 yards and a touchdown. So on paper, without looking at the film, I see a dual threat quarterback. Ty, you've watched a little film.
Yeah, I watched their game against Marshall County last night, and the thing that sticks out to me is there's quickness all over the field. All their skill guys are quick. A big difference between them and Russell County, their linemen are smaller, but they're a lot quicker, especially on the defensive line. They spread out more on the defensive line. They're going to make our tackles get out and block them on the edges, and it's going to be hard for our guys are going to have to communicate on the offensive line, or it's going to be a nightmare. And
I agree with the majority of what Ty says, except one thing. He said their linemen are small, and for the most part they are, but he's leaving out the tree trunk or the tree stump of 5'10", 325 pounds on the defensive line. So,
well, like I told you,
he'll be easy to pick out.
They filmed their game from approximately 3 miles away.
Yeah,
so I knew they were fast, but I couldn't really tell how big they are.
Yeah.
So
I just remember looking at the roster and then matching him up in the film. And like I said, he's a tree trunk. He's a tree trunk.
Looks like on defense, of course, I mentioned the quarterback being dual threat. Running back Martavius Smith, 12 carries for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. And again, guys, I don't know about Marshall County and their football program, but I do know they're a 6A school. And Bethlehem went over there and beat them 55-12. So, and Bethlehem comes off a 9-2 record last year.
And Scott, we spoke last night on the phone when I was talking to him about Bethlehem, and he said, and I agreed, you can't look into that score too much because Marshall County did throw interceptions on the
first two possessions
in the game,
and they were driving to both of them.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and they were inside the red zone a lot too. Yeah. They never could just finish off the drive. Yeah. So don't look too much into that score.
I mean, it's a step up in competition. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this week in the Bluegrass Preps rankings, Bethlehem was number 7 in Class A. So 1 spot below Campbellsville. So we know what Campbellsville has. They're loaded this year. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be a good matchup. It'll be a fun matchup.
And again, that kickoff has been moved to 5:30.
And that could still be moved depending on the heat index. If the heat index is over a certain amount, they will not let them start playing.
Right.
So and it's supposed to be a little cooler Saturday, maybe. So maybe they'll be able to start on time. They've already moved it back an hour, regardless.
Stay tuned to the WAIN Facebook page, and I'm sure the station will update that periodically as well throughout that day. Guys, let's switch to middle school a little bit. Our middle school football. I got an update from Wes Stevens today. The team is 1-1. They lost 28-14 to Barron County. It was a close game the whole way. Barron scored 19 seconds left to make it a 2-score game. The middle school Indians did beat Monroe County 14-12. Got a stop on their 2-point conversion with less than a minute to go on the clock. Defense has really been playing well so far. Offense has been hitting some big plays, but still looking for some consistency. And been getting a lot of good play from Braxton McKinney at quarterback, Callum Darnell, Desmond Matthews, and Weston Abson at running back. Defense have been solid. Austin Huff, Jay Harmon, Kip Dial, and Wiley Feast play defensive line. Keaton Watson has also been playing well at linebacker. They play Casey County in their first conference game. That's Thursday night. So middle school football 1-1. Golf team, they played in an invitational at the London Country Club. Finished in 10th place. Jagger Kemp led the way with a 91. Caden Burton with a 92. And hot temperatures shut matches down pretty much for this week. They'll be back in action next Thursday at Metcalfe County.
So does golf have a heat index thing, or is this the courses or the courses? I didn't know.
That's basically the way I took it. I'm sure, they're high school athletes. They got to go by the same protocol, but now I might be wrong.
I definitely wouldn't want to be out there walking and carrying my bag this week.
Scott, you can add to this one because I know you go to a lot of the matches, but Lady Indians defeated Barron County last night, 2-1. They started off a little bit slow, but turned around to win the second and third sets. And also I got some clarification today on the set deal, Scott. We had a little bit of why wasn't the match over in 3 sets? All district games
are best of 5.
Best of 5.
Yep.
And then, according to Coach Neat, some of the other non-districts games can be either.
Yeah.
So I guess they talk about it before it starts, obviously.
Well, I think there was some, I talked about it last week, that first game of the season. They were playing at LaRue County, and we won 2 of the first 3 sets, and our girls were celebrating. They thought it was over. They decided to go to best of 5, so they dropped the last 2 sets and got beat. So
it's kind of like losing in rock, paper, scissors. You just keep going until you win.
Yeah, coach's discretion. She says there's a lot of gray area in the rules, which makes it really confusing for the fans. So that really ought to be something that's announced prior.
Yeah, and it was confusing last night, too, because they usually play a triple header every night, freshman, JV, varsity. Well, last night at Barron County, they played varsity first. So it was a little different for some of the parents they had to really get on their horse and get there to catch the varsity games. Usually it's the last one, and they take their time.
Coach Neat said in that Barron contest, they're playing around with the lineup a little bit to maximize strengths, minimize some of our weaknesses. They had a marathon start to the season, 6 games, all as we talked about, all on the road. Taylor County, she says, was a tough contest. They battled to the end. She can see growth from the start of the season to now, and that's kind of the JV. Let's see the Greene County results. The varsity lost 3-1, JV lost 2-0, and freshman won 2-0. And I did notice in the Taylor County match, the freshman did win a set. Yeah. So that was good.
You're talking about Taylor County. Their varsity is a juggernaut. They have not lost a set all year. That's pretty impressive. They're 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. I mean, it's and a lot of them are not
and
close.
we were very competitive. I mean, 25-13, 25-14, 25-20 were the three losses, but Lady Indians were very competitive. Last thing I want to add about volleyball is they will be hosting the 2A sectional, and that's next week, and that will be here at Adair County. It looks like Adair will play Taylor.
Got a great draw.
Oh, we did get a great draw, looks like. And Russell County will play LaRue County. Yeah. So, and again, that's next week. So that's a good opportunity to come out.
It's a pretty busy schedule, isn't it, next week?
It's first home game, too. Yeah.
I think you play 4 matches next week, I think.
And this 2A, if you want to come out and watch a little tournament action on the 28th at 6 o'clock, Lady Indians play the Lady Cardinals, and then following that, Russell and LaRue on the 28th. That might be a good night for me to take in a little volleyball. What day is that on the 28th? Anybody know?
Monday.
I don't have too much going on Monday night. Being retired, I can swing that, I think.
You can stay out late. You
Ain't much going on any night.
Well, Mondays is my Mountaineer Park night, though. Mountaineer is a staple in my agenda on Mondays, but I can alter.
Speaking of Mountaineer Park, John, I heard something on the radio this morning. This is completely out of left field here, but you do realize that in the month of September, Churchill's going to be running on Thursday evening.
Yes, they run a
Twilight
Post.
Do you realize that that's when sports gambling comes along in person? So a person go up there on them Thursdays and set at the sports book too. I know that might tickle your fancy a little bit.
And we will get paid through our little stipend we get. So maybe I can take what funds I receive and go up there and enjoy Churchill and maybe bet a ball game. It'll be legal. We're actually, Ty, going to add into the show a tip of the week or best bet of the week or something to that effect.
I'll be tuning in. I know that.
But and just now, I think I have these memorized correct because Scott, you filled me in on these the other day. The 28th pre-registration can begin for your online account.
Yes, yeah.
On September 7th, it goes live at the racetrack, so you can show up and bet a ball game at the racetrack.
Now, stop me if I'm wrong here. The 28th of this month is pre-registration.
28th of September.
I would advise people to wait until we know which companies are going to be in the state. They haven't finalized them yet. There's rumors going around. But,
just sign up for all of them.
Well, I mean, but when you sign up, if you wait till later on, they'll run bonuses and you'll get free bets.
That's what Matt Jones. Matt Jones is saying wait because they're going to offer these great deals like
and
for
KSR
example,
just signed with DraftKings too, so I'm sure they'll be running
a $1,500 risk-free bet. So Matt's saying go ahead and put the whole $1,500 in there and wager it because you're going to get it back if you lose. So just deals like that. Some of them are offering points, a point system when you bet. So
now here's a question I want to ask you too. I've never seen one $1,500, but say you get a $100 free bet. Do you take a massive underdog, or do you take something that's going to for sure hit with your free $100 bet?
I think you take a easy money line, the one you think's going to hit,
some
bet
people
it all
like
on
that.
And then if you double your money, then you can draw your money back out, and you're still set where you was.
And
I'm probably taking for sure hitter.
What Ty and Scott were talking about is these different venues have submitted contracts with different casinos. For example, MGM is one in the mix. FanDuel is one in the mix.
Caesars don't have one.
Caesars is one. So you got all these places like Churchill, Keeneland, Red Mile, Ellis Park.
One in Corbin.
Yeah, one in Corbin. So they could sign, I think, I don't know if they've released who signed with who.
They've had a few of them, I think, but I'm not sure which ones are which.
The ones I've heard will be Caesars, definitely, because they're in southern Indiana. That wouldn't make much sense not for them to just come across the river. DraftKings, FanDuel, and BetMGM, I think.
What's the Ashland track? That was BetMGM, whatever the Ashland track was. Sandy.
I'll have to look that one up because that's Standard Bread. I don't have that one right on my memory. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get an update from Lindsey Wilson, from Chris Wells here on 101.9 Sports Talk Live and Local. We'll be back.
This is Matt Loy with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
This is Kylie McCovens. I'm a Greene County High School graduate and a Lindsey Wilson College student. I'm well on my way to earning my degree in Human Services and Counseling. At LWC, I've met new people, had the opportunity to become involved on campus, and I've loved being a part of campus ministry. Visit today and you will want to make Lindsey Wilson College your new home too. Call the admissions office at 270-384-8100 or email us at admissions@lindsey.edu.
Have you injured yourself yourself playing a sport or exercising? Sports medicine experts at TJ Regional Health are trained to get you back on the road to recovery, whether you're dealing with sprains, fractures, knee and shoulder injuries, or other common injuries. Our goal is to prevent illness and injury in active individuals of all ages and help prevent future problems to maximize your performance. Find out more at tjregionalhealth.org/rehab. Patients first. Team always. TJ Rehabilitation Services.
Let J&S Auto Sales show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Columbia. They believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Shop their virtual showroom of used cars, trucks, and SUVs online at jnsautosales.ky.org. J&S Auto Sales, here to help you find that perfect car you deserve, priced to fit your budget.
Welcome back to Sports Talk Live and Local. John Shelley, Ty Bennett, Scott Bennett, and Chris is going to join us remotely tonight via the phone. And Chris, Lindsey Wilson, I know just getting back in school, things are kind of transitioning. Give us a report, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, guys. First off, before I talk Lindsey, I just want to give a shout out to Adair County football. Wow, they had I listened to you guys. Actually, I watched. We had a blue-white game going on campus with our football team, so I went to that and got to watch. I had the YouTube pulled up, so you guys sounded fantastic, and congratulations to Adair County on picking up win number 1 on the season. I hope it's a lot more of those to come the rest of the season. So I want to make sure that I say that. And hate that I'm not in the studio with you guys. Ty, thanks for picking up the slack for me. Lindsey, we had our first athletic event last night. Our Lindsey Wilson volleyball team started out the season 1-0. They swept Kentucky Christian. I would say that it was a solid performance. I wouldn't say it was anything spectacular, but I will say this. We had about 4 young ladies that are still waiting to get through the eligibility center. That's what we have to do. It's kind of like the clearinghouse for NCAA. We call it the eligibility center, and at the NAI level. And so got some girls that still have to get through the eligibility center, so it's going to be a different team that from what we saw last night in a few weeks. So, but a good start to the season. Coach Aubrey Beaumont won her first game as a head coach, so congratulations to her. And John and Scott, I would really want to have Aubrey on the radio here maybe in a couple weeks. Let her get a few more games under her belt, and we'll bring her in and let Adair County get to know Aubrey. She's a fantastic young coach, and I'm excited about the future for Lindsey Wilson volleyball. Our men's soccer game, our team plays tonight at 7 o'clock. It was originally scheduled for 6. They moved it back because of the heat. Give us an extra hour, let the sun kind of, get down a little bit. So if you're looking for something to do tonight, 7 o'clock at Walter S. Ruling Stadium, Ray Wells Field, the Blue Raider men's soccer team, who's ranked 5th in the country, went to the national semifinals a year ago after a disastrous start to the season, but they're opening up their season against Mount Vernon Nazarene again tonight at Ruling Stadium. So get out there, and if you're in the area, want to see some good European football, then you're going to see some good tonight, because I think this Lindsey Wilson men's soccer team, it's kind of more of a product of what they did at the end of the season last year than what they did at the beginning of the season. So it should be a fun night there. I hate that I'm not going to be there, but I'm going to be watching it from my cell phone. Everything else is coming up this weekend. As far as women's soccer's on the docket this weekend, they open up their season down in Jackson, Tennessee, against a top 10 team. We'll say that a lot this year, because Coach Drew Burwash will always play. He'll play anybody. Let's just put it that way. One of the best schedules in the NAIA, and And men's soccer back in action this weekend, and volleyball is down in Atlanta at Life University for the weekend. So that's what's happening this week, and of course we're just about 12, 13 days away from, I guess 12 days now, away from Lindsey Wilson football kicking off their season. They'll do so down in Laurinburg, North Carolina, when they take on St. Andrews on the road, and we'll have the coverage of that game right here on WAIN. So over on the AM station and the 101.7 FM station. So that's kind of what's going on at Lindsey Wilson. We're kind of like you guys. We're battling the heat. A lot of our teams are having to practice late at night. Some of our games are getting moved. It's just been warm, and that's what we're dealing with right now on the Hill.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to change first of next week. Supposed to be in the mid-80s and a little more comfortable. But right now, I know our golf team lost some matches this week due to the heat, and possibly the football game might start a little bit later Saturday night. Scott and Ty notified me. So, yeah, we're getting affected by that heat as well.
Hey, John, I got a question for you while I got you. I'm on the road today, and I'm at a restaurant that I've never eaten at, believe it or not, and I bet you have. So I'm just wondering what I should order. I'm getting ready to go inside and order. It's Smoky Bones Bar and Fire Grill. What's good at Smoky Bones?
Oh, I've been there several times. You got to eat the ribs there. That's what they're known for. I think anything on the menu is pretty good, but I definitely like the ribs there. Guys, you all been to Smoky Bones before?
I haven't. I've never been to Smoky Bones.
They have a brisket that's pretty good. They got really good desserts. So I would say their mashed potatoes would be a good side choice. They've got kind of a twice baked feel to them. So yeah, I would say go with the ribs for sure. Baby back.
Good deal. Hey, Ty and Scott, tell me about John back in the booth on football. This after a year off, was he sharp? He sounded pretty sharp to me on the YouTube channel.
No rust at all, Chris. No rust at all. It got a little bit shaky toward the end because he started getting hungry, and then he really wanted wings. And I was begging him not to, because I know how they treat me late at night.
Chris,
I know it's going to be worse.
Little different situation. We were getting accommodated very well by the football boosters in the past years by bringing us stuff up, like a pan of stuff. And, it was a mixed bag. Hot dogs, hamburgers, popcorn, blah, blah, blah. But this year they went with the food trucks. So you had different vendors, and so I'm sure the food trucks didn't have us turned on probably out there. But all it takes is one, and I'll keep plugging. I'll keep pour mouth, and maybe somebody will hear it.
Message during the game. I know it's hard to look down at your phone during
I did see it.
But I was wondering if you needed me to bring some, but I didn't hear anything back from you, so I didn't bother.
Yeah, we really did have a good broadcast. I went out. It really helped me going to that scrimmage a week before, just to kind of look at where people were playing and trying to do my homework, so to speak. I know you do that, Chris, and it kind of helped me with names and kind of threw me off a little bit when Morris didn't start at tailback. Ryder Rogers, and man, did he take advantage of his opportunity with over 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. The 3 touchdowns were all in the first half, but for the most part, I'm getting to know the kids. This Solomon Stonebreaker, very impressed.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a slot guy. I almost think of him like as a Julian Edelman kind of a guy, but he can also go deep. But he is really physical too, and he's got some really good run after catch skills. I mean, he planted on a dime one time, and it was kind of like a little spin move, and he just separated himself from the defense. Really good speed. So he's going to be a threat. And they've got some other guys out there too that I think before the end of the year catch a lot of passes. And
the catch over the middle, I'm sure, where he went up the ladder and brought it down. That was special. That brought me out of my seat while I I was watching the blue-white game at Lindsay. So
yeah,
that was pretty amazing.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you joining us, and you go enjoy your dinner.
Thank you, man. Y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, that's Chris Wells giving us the Lindsey Wilson report here on JNS Auto Sales. And don't forget to join us on our YouTube page, WAIN YouTube. And we'll be archiving the show. You can also watch us live. And again, kickoff Friday night, scheduled for 5:30, but stay tuned because we're not sure with the heat what that's going to do. We're going to take a quick break. We come back, we're going to talk a little college football as action starts this Saturday. Yes, this Saturday on JNS Sports Talk Live and Local. We'll be back.
Let JNS Auto Sales show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Columbia. They believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Shop their virtual showroom of used cars, trucks, and SUVs online at jnsautosalesky.org. JNS Auto Sales, here to help you find that perfect car you deserve, priced to fit your budget.
Have you injured yourself playing a sport or exercising? Sports medicine experts at TJ Regional Health are trained to get you back on the road to recovery, whether you're dealing with sprains, fractures, knee and shoulder injuries, or other common injuries. Our goal is to prevent illness and injury in active individuals of all ages and help prevent future problems to maximize your performance. Find out more at tjregionalhealth.org/rehab. Patients first, team always. TJ Rehabilitation Services.
Hi, this is Kylie McCovens. I'm a Greene County High School graduate and a Lindsey Wilson College student. I'm well on my way to earning my degree in Human Services and Counseling. At LWC, I've met new people, had the opportunity to become involved on campus, and I've loved being a part of campus ministry. Visit today and you will want to make Lindsey Wilson College your new home too. Call the admissions office at 270-384-8100 or email us at admissions@lindsey.edu.
This is Matt Loy with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Celebrating a birthday or anniversary? WAIN wants to hear from you. Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by Betty's OK Country Cooking. Weekday mornings at around 7:20 on McKinney in the Morning. Call or text anytime. 270-384-2134. Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by Betty's OK Country Cooking at 2339 Campbellsville Road, Columbia.
Are you concerned about your health at work? You have the right to a safe and healthy workplace. The U.S. Department of Labor wants to help. Call the Occupational Safety and Health Administration at 1-800-321-OSHA or visit osha.gov/worker.
JNS Sports Talk Studios here, Highway 206 Studios, and guys, Wells has got me thinking about Smoky Bones. It's supper time, and it really sounds good. As I've been on about a 2-day fast. I'm not going to get into why, but I've been on I'm just really. He really generated my interest by bringing Smoky Bones up.
I'm all for barbecue. You brought up brisket, and I got really hungry all of a sudden, so I'm going to have to go find food right after this.
We really want to thank our sponsors, JNS Auto Sales, Lindsey Wilson College, United Citizens Bank, TJ Regional Health for their sponsorship. Guys, college football this Saturday, Navy at Notre Dame. That's an NBC game.
That's actually in Ireland.
Okay. It's in Ireland.
It is the NBC game, yes.
UTEP at Jacksonville State, Massachusetts at New Mexico State, Ohio University at San Diego State, Hawaii at Vandy, interesting, San Jose State at USC, and FIU, Florida International, at Louisiana Tech. So
I've got a question about Vandy real quick, though. They went to Hawaii last year. Why would you want to home and home with them? I'll go to Hawaii every year.
Not the best slate of games, but for us college football
I'm just
junkies,
glad to have football, college football back.
I'm the same way. I'm a college football junkie. It's here, so that kind of marks it's here for me. So
I'm already looking at a few lines.
Of course, those are Saturday, but starting next Thursday, you got Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, because the NFL's not playing yet, and it's all college that whole time.
I've written down a few. Thursday night, Florida at Utah's a big matchup. That's Utah's ranked 14th. Nebraska at Minnesota. Friday, you got Louisville Cardinals in action at Georgia Tech. Saturday, you got tons of games. Our locals, Ball State at Kentucky, South Florida at Western. Guys, I know we give UK a lot of the time, U of L, but Western, they bring back a dynamic offense from last year. They're going to be really good.
And local product. Local product. Kyle Corley, one of the top receivers in the country, projected probably to be a first couple of day draft pick, first 3 rounds at least, probably as of right now.
We remember him from. I don't think we ever played.
Yeah, we did.
In football, we did. I know we did in basketball. But
he very much played us.
He played at Cam.
There's a lot of digits on his stat
I do remember that.
He also played basketball for Tim Davis. I do remember that as well.
He's a good basketball player too.
Just a great athlete.
And Western's quarterback's back as well.
Yeah. Austin Reed, one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Of course, that Ty Hilton offense is always going to be slinging it around, so they're going to put some numbies up.
We was talking a little bit about we're having a fantasy draft for college players tomorrow. Those two you just mentioned will be high picks. Let's just put it that way. They'll probably be first-round picks for our fantasy league.
Yes, I was thinking they'd be a great fantasy
And I believe they switched to the Sun Belt Conference, and that conference they should. I think they were in
Conference USA.
It was Conference USA.
Yeah,
and they switched to the Sun Belt, and they got. I think the Sun Belt has. I think Sam Houston State moved up to 1A. Or what? It's FBS now. Used to be 1AA and 1A, and then Jacksonville State, I think, is also moving up, and they're both in that conference. I think Marshall's the only team that might give them some issues.
I know there will be a lot of Kentucky eyes on that Florida-Utah game because a lot of people predicting Kentucky to be undefeated going into that Florida game. So a lot of eyes looking at Florida to kind of make their judgment on Florida.
Yeah, and Coach Napier better hope he wins that game too, or there's going to be that seat's going to get really hot really fast. And Utah's good. Yeah. Utah's always a sleeper. People don't.
They're really giving up for. They're really physical too,
and it's at Utah this time too. Yeah. I think if UK's not undefeated going in that game, there's issues.
I looked at a couple of those. We play Akron and Ball State. Ball State's got a really good running back, and Akron's got a really good dual threat quarterback.
But you still got to win those games.
Oh yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, people see Akron and Ball State and think we're just going to roll over them, and we probably still should. But they've got some talent.
We'll see some Akron and Ball State later in the season when some action hooks up on Tuesday night.
Tuesday night action. There's nothing like Tuesday night action if you haven't experienced it.
I feel like that there's not going to be as much pressure on Leary, and here's why. I just don't read every day about high expectations for this guy. He's had put up some great numbers at NC State. He stayed hurt a lot. His big issue is staying healthy, but I really feel like he's coming into this thing in a pretty good place. I read a really good article the other day about just some projections of how he looks in the preseason, and he's getting some high marks, and he's really high on some of his young receivers, Brown and the kid from Help Me Scott that caught the key, Dane Key, and then they got a guy out of the portal too. That's a good player. So I'm hearing good things about him.
Yeah, and in the last couple of years we've seen Stoops really go out and get some receivers. Used to, Kentucky would have a pretty good quarterback, but the receivers couldn't catch a cold, so it didn't matter at all. So I'm glad to see us finally stacking offense together. They've got three talented running backs too. I know Ray Davis coming over from Vandy, Jaton McClain's a returner, and they get
go ahead and say his name.
I don't know whatever his name is that transferred from
they call it like DSK,
State.
No, NC State.
Well, the guy that
got hurt last year.
Tore his ACL the first game from
Ramon State.
And I'm a Davis fan. I mean, he ran probably,
last year.
Well, he didn't get a lot of help at times with his offensive line, and he just showed a lot of toughness.
Yep.
So I look for him to get a bulk of the carries early.
And a guy not a lot of people are talking about, Jagger Burton, moving to center. He's one of the top centers in the country and could be a very high draft pick if all goes the way.
And their tight ends position.
Tight ends are stacked again.
Deep there, yeah.
Let me ask y'all's opinion on something. I don't know if did y'all see the interview after they had their final fall scrimmage Saturday? Did y'all see Coach Stoops' interview?
I did not.
And I'm going to see how you all take this. They had to pull Deion Walker out of the scrimmage because he was dominating it so much that they couldn't get anything done. So is that an indictment on your offensive line, or is he that good?
I believe he's that good.
I mean, I would think against the number ones, he would be performing at a high level. He'd be pretty good. That's my opinion.
I'm a big believer in the Field Steel magazine, and he's got him as a second-team All-American. Yeah. So I would believe
he's
that.
He's much of a man, 6'8", over 300 pounds. He just and can move. He's nimble.
Yeah. I'd like to see some draft projections for next year because he won't be here for 4 years.
No, he'll be gone next year.
Georgia, they lose a big-time running back, Robinson. Of course, they got a stable of backs. I mean, it's not going to affect them that much, but he was projected to be their number one back.
But they got that offensive line. 4 of the top 5 are All-Americans.
Georgia?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they lost.
They could put me at running back and I get 1,000 yards.
Carson Beck's the only real question mark, and I'm sure he'll be fine because they've still got Ladd McConkey back. You've got Brock Bowers, who's
in Alabama. Your thoughts on Alabama with some of their?
They're trying to say that
I'm selling stock on Alabama this year. They've got 2 new coordinators, a new running back, and Milroe didn't show me much at all when he came in last year. He seems like a run heavy quarterback. So, and they've got Ty Simpson as a backup, and he seems to me more like the better choice. But they're going to go with Milroe, I'm sure. But I probably shouldn't doubt Nick Saban.
No, there you go. Probably a good idea.
He'll figure it out probably.
Guys, some of your old storied programs, any comments or opinions about Texas, Oklahoma? Texas made the move, and they probably had a little bit of a disappointing year, I think, last year. Of course, there's a lot of pressure down there. But
the story there is how long it's going to be before Arch Manning becomes the quarterback, the starting quarterback. They got a good quarterback that's returned, the guy that transferred from Ohio State, and he had a pretty solid season last year. But as soon as anything goes wrong, the fans are going to be all over getting Manning in the game.
Talking about college football old blood, I believe Florida State's going to officially be back this year. Somebody asked me my 4 playoff teams last night, actually, and I named Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, and who did I name as USC. I think Florida State's going to be back. Their quarterback, I think his last name's Devin Travis, I believe, something like that. Is very good, very reliable. Their defensive line's monstrous. They've got a guy that'll be a first-round pick, and they're just stacked. I think Mike Norville's their coach. I think he's a really good coach, really talented coach, young coach. So
Ohio State, always a staple out of the Big Ten.
Michigan had a good season last year. We'll see what happens.
Harbaugh set out the
first game is going to be must watch again because it's going to probably tell you who's going to make the playoff between them two.
And
Michigan's
Tyler
Penn State's getting a lot of.
He's got a big interest in Michigan. You know, he let us know that the other day. He's a huge Michigan fan.
He's not a UT fan.
And Penn State could sneak in there. They've got a quarterback that's going to turn some heads, I believe, too. And he didn't play a lot. He played in a limited role last year when Sean Clifford got hurt. But I think they upgraded a lot from Sean Clifford.
Your guys' thoughts about Louisville? Are they going to throw it around a little bit early? I mean, that's what he likes to do.
He's going to throw it around.
You know, they hadn't played as much defense at Purdue. I think a lot of it's because they didn't get those big time defensive guys. But
Louisville comes down to one thing. You've seen it the last 3 or 4 years there. Until they get a line, they're going to be in trouble.
Well,
the offensive defensive line, they're
bring
getting
that
killed.
up. I was just about to say, Phil Steele has them ranked as one of the top O lines in the country. So they've got a few transfers there that should step in and help them.
Like I said, they need.
I hope they don't help them too much. Sorry,
I looked at Louisville.
Sorry to all the
we
Louisville
talked about
fans
it
out there.
earlier. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, I think, or last week. Chris brought up their schedule. And I think I wouldn't be shocked to see Louisville win 8 games this year. Their schedule's favorable.
Yeah, their schedule's really easy.
They avoid Clemson. They avoid Florida State. They do play Miami, but they avoid those two. So
who knows what Miami's going to do either.
So
you guys got anything you want to add on this college football segment? We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to wrap this thing up. We're going to talk a little bit about Major League Baseball.
Reds are winning. The Reds are winning.
The Reds. And we're also going to talk about the opening week in the NFL. We'll be back on JNS Sports Talk Live and Local.
I got 6 RBIs.
This is Cameron Smith. I'm a Campbellsville High School graduate and a Lindsey Wilson College student. I'm well on my way to earning a degree in secondary education. At LWC, I've met new people, become involved on campus, and I have loved being part of the sports programs. Visit today, and you will want to make Lindsey Wilson College your new home, too. Call the admissions office at 270-384-8100 or email us at admissions@lindsey.edu.
Have you injured yourself playing a sport or exercising? Sports medicine experts at TJ Regional Health are trained to get you back on the road to recovery, whether you're dealing with sprains, fractures, knee and shoulder injuries, or other common injuries. Our goal is to prevent illness and injury in active individuals of all ages and help prevent future problems to maximize your performance. Find out more at tjregionalhealth.org/rehab. Patients first. Team always. TJ Rehabilitation Services.
This is Matt Loy with United Citizens Bank. Although I'm very proud of all the products and services we offer, the best thing we have to offer is good, old-fashioned customer service. It may seem like banking is moving to smartphones and computers, and while we can do that too, we don't think anything can replace a firm handshake and your confidence in our word. When you think personal service and customer-first banking, think UCB. United Citizens Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Let J&S Auto Sales show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Columbia. They believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Their friendly and knowledgeable sales staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced to fit your budget. Shop their virtual showroom of used cars, trucks, and SUVs online at jnsautosales.ky.org. J&S Auto Sales, here to help you find that perfect car you deserve, priced to fit your budget.
Get the latest, most up-to-date local news on our website, 935wain.com. It's absolutely free with no subscription fees and never any clickbait. Guaranteed. Check it out, 935wain.com.
Hi, this is Kylie McCovens. I'm a Greene County High School graduate and a Lindsey Wilson College student. I'm well on my way to earning my degree in Human Services and Counseling. At LWC, I've met new people, had the opportunity to become involved on campus, and I've loved being a part of campus ministry. Visit today and you will want to make Lindsey Wilson College your new home too. Call the admissions office at 270-384-8100 or email us at admissions@lindsey.edu.
Sports Talk live and local. Our final segment, guys, Major League Baseball. First of all, congratulations to the Spaniards in soccer. They defeated England 1-0 in the World Cup final in women's. Major League Baseball, Baltimore with a 2-game lead over Tampa Bay. Minnesota with a 5-game lead over Cleveland. Texas with a half-game lead over Houston, who leads Seattle by a half game. So that's a dogfight there. Atlanta dominating their division, 12.5 over the Phillies. In the Central, Milwaukee 3.5-game lead going into the day. The Cubs were 3.5 back, and the Reds were 4 back. So the Reds are currently winning 8-4. We just got an update on that one. And the Dodgers have taken over in the West, lead to Arizona by 11.5. Guys, anything you want to add there?
The Reds are, as bad as they've been playing, they're still within striking distance. The bad thing is they don't play Milwaukee anymore. They're already done with them for the season. That's it might be a good thing because they can't beat them.
I believe it's a good thing, but they've got a ton of games against the Cubs that they have to win now because that's who's keeping them out of the wild card right now. Them
the Cubs lost today, so if the Reds hold on here, the Reds will be just a half game back of Chicago, and they actually play a doubleheader tonight, so they could actually tie them if they win both games of the doubleheader.
So you look at the wild card standings, Sean. Arizona's got the last wild card spot, the third wild card spot. They're 8-2 in their last 10, and then Cincinnati and San Francisco both half a game out, and then Miami's a game and a half out. So I know the Reds are on the West Coast swing. They play the Giants. I believe they play the Giants and the Diamondbacks the next 2 series. So they need a big if they can put together a road trip here, it'd be huge.
And actually, for the season, they've played a lot better on the road than they have at home.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. I'll go back and look at that real quick. They got their home record and road record. At home, they're 31-34, 3 games below 500. On the road, they're 7 games over 500, 34-27. So they've been a whole lot better on the road than they have at home.
Yeah. It always seems like young teams are better on the road because there's not as much pressure. I think they put too much pressure on themselves to perform in front of the home crowd. It's a lot easier for them to play the bad guy than it is.
My favorite road trip of the year for the Reds. It's on the West Coast. They start late. You can turn it on and listen to it or watch it, either one. And as you lay into the bed, it's always always enjoyed that. I've hardly ever
they're getting a big win right now. They're going to clinch a series win, and with Ohtani starting on the mound. And you told me, Scott, during the break that he only pitched an inning. I hope he's not hurt.
Sure
They literally just brought Mike Trout back off the DL yesterday. Yeah. And now if Ohtani's going on the DL, if he's hurt,
guys, how much money is he going to make this offseason?
Whatever he wants.
It's on Lake Ty. They're just going to print money. Yeah.
Could he be the first $1 billion contract? Think it's possible?
He's so young.
He's so young too. They could sign him to a 10 or 15-year deal or something like this because he's so young.
Yep. He's incredible. Guys, we can't sign off without mentioning the NFL, September 7th, the Lions in Kansas City. I think that might be a Thursday night kickoff to the NFL season. And
it'd be a fun game. I like the Lions. The Lions could very well win that. The Lions could very well win that division.
I do love me some Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Dan is quite a motivator for sure, and I think he's added a little bit of talent. So be anxious to see what kind of season. And then Joe Burrow for the Bengals, they're really keeping quiet about this injury.
Scares me.
Is he going to be back? I don't think the Bengals can afford to. Somebody was saying maybe 3 games. Can you afford to set him 3 games?
Depends on who they play. If they play the division teams, it's going to be hard. You got to win those division games because it comes down to tiebreakers and things like that.
I think a calf too is one of those things that
it's gonna nag you all year. It's not gonna go away. You gotta play through it.
Seems like when he goes down with the calf, it's like his leg just locks up. Like it's not a partial thing that he can limp through. He goes down, kind of like a cramp. Yeah. But
and who knows? It might be something other than a calf too, because that's awful close to your Achilles too. And they might be hiding something that's a little bit more serious too.
I don't think they could hide an Achilles because that's the way.
Unless he tore his calf.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a calf really hinder somebody this long.
Guys, I want to thank you all for coming in. I want to thank Chris for calling. We want to thank our sponsors one last time before we sign off. J&S Auto Sales, our title sponsor, Lindsey Wilson College, United Citizens Bank, TJ Regional Health. Follow us on Facebook at WAIN 101.9 and 1270 AM and on YouTube at WAIN Radio. And you can also take us on the road by downloading our app free of charge from the Google Play or App Store. Just search WAIN Radio. Kickoff right now set for 5:30 Saturday night. Again, make note of that. Not Friday night, but Saturday night in the Cooperage Bowl versus Bardstown Bethlehem. We'll have it on 93.5 Hot Country. Guys, anything?
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Good time.
Good show.
Yep.
And for Austin, our studio engineer, for Chris, Scott, Ty, I'm John Shelley. Good night, everyone.